Today, I want to speak to you about the JLP erred. And one need to understand clearly within the context that I'm going to speak how it is that I'm going to show that the JLP erred. And I'm going to be using information that exists in terms of the public perception poll that is actually currently being, that was currently concluded by Don Anderson and presented on a number of stations, including RJR. Now, substantially, those who voted for the JLP in the last general elections were young persons, and many of them are currently unemployed. But not only are they unemployed, is that the government gave themselves over in excess of 200% increase, and many of the young people are unemployed. So, how is that going to be translating to people's perception of the Prime Minister's performance, whether they're likely to vote for him? Let us now look at what the Don Anderson poll had to say about the matter. Because we really want you to understand some stuff that are extremely important. So I'm going to put up in front of you some statistics that are there in terms of how the people is. Remember, let's read the question. How would you rate the performance of the leader of the JLP, Mr. Andrew Holness, as Prime Minister? And 35% of people said average, 13% said poor, and 14% said very poor. Now, what is that saying? Let's look at some extreme cases. So let's look at what is happening here now. So we're talking about in terms of poor to very poor. We're talking about 27% of people said poor to very poor. So if you add 27 to 35, you're talking about 62% of persons average to poor. It means that a substantial number of Jamaicans are in the middle to poor. And that is as a result of what the JLP did, as well as sanctioned by the Prime Minister, of course, Mr. Andrew Holness, to have awarded themselves over 200% increase. That is hurting the JLP within the context that many of the persons in Jamaica are going through quite a lot. What number of the persons are going through in Jamaica? One, they are going through having to deal with the difficulty of unemployment, the difficulty of high cost of living, the difficulty of just trying to survive. And here, the JLP gave themselves over 200%. And that is translating into people's disapproval of the Prime Minister. And they are looking at his performance in terms of what he has been doing over the months, the weeks, the years since he has received re-election. And they are saying, Mr. Holness, your performance is not good at all. No, this has to mean something now. This must translate to something that I want you to look at. To also look at another indication to this in terms of the poll. When we see what the Jamaicans say, who they're likely to vote for, which you can actually go and examine the clip further, which I'm going to put into the description, where they are saying that they are going to be voting for, or likely to vote for the PNP over the JLP. So what we're saying is the performance of Mr. Holness, or the lack of performance of Mr. Holness, and by extension the JLP, is translating to people not seeing them as favorable to rule the country if an election were to be called. Now, that is saying something that the JLP needs to look at. The people of Jamaica are saying the JLP erred in terms of awarding a 200% increase to politicians. People are saying that the JLP erred in terms of awarding that to politicians. And Mr. Holness, given that he's an astute politician, should have known better than to have done that. Or is it that Mr. Holness has decided that, listen, they will not be coming into office again. So therefore, take the most and run. No, we need to understand that one day in politics is like a lifetime. And therefore, Mr. Owens still has an opportunity to make adjustments and possibly do better. And when I say do better here, I'm likely to win the next election, even though people are at the moment dissatisfied with his performance and his actions or inactions. One needs to understand clearly that the dissatisfaction of Jamaicans, particularly youth, will not translate into anything good for Mr. Holness. And this is what is happening with this poll when it is saying that 5% Jamaicans are more likely to vote for the what? The PNP. And this is within the context, as I said before, as to how they are rating the performance of Mr. Holness. And Mr. Holness's performance is being rated on a number of things. One, the downturn in the economy, and two, the awarding of over 200% increase to politicians. Now, what do you have to say? You might be a JLP supporter and you are peeved by the poll, but let's have a discussion on the matter. Do you think that Mr. Holness is doing good? And within the context, as I said before, in terms of the lower rate of performance of the economy, the high rate of inflation, the high rate of the cost of living, and awarded themselves over 200% increase when no other group of workers got such a percentage increase. Now, so if you're a Labourite, let's have your view on the matter. And if you're a PNP, what does it say about the People's National Party? Although the People's National Party is doing little or nothing at the moment, what do you have to say? Like, share, and subscribe to this channel as I continue to provide you with trusted information. Have yourself an awesome day, and we will continue to provide you with trusted information. We will never stop doing so. And I do not think at any point in time in this near future while I'm alive that I will do otherwise. Let me hear your views. Thank you very much.